we don't need roads.
Cool.
Hey, buddy.
Mark, good to see you again, man. Seriously, I mean this genuinely and sincerely. This is the best performance of your career, man. So you have a lot to be proud of. So congratulations on
I
that.
appreciate that. I see you've
I'm
been holding up pretty well during quarantine.
I'm doing my best. It's all lights and makeup, man. Don't be too impressed. But seriously, good to see you again. I hope it's the only time we do this via Zoom. I got 1,000 questions for you. Joe Bell, he did his best to spread a really important message, even if it meant he was just talking to a room of just a few people. You obviously have a far wider reach being who you are. What is the best, most important way you've sort of used your celebrity reach to do good in this world?
Well, I think first of all, anytime, we do a lot of things, but we don't go out there on the soapbox trying to get credit for it. With my faith, the left hand's not supposed to know what the right hand is doing. So we're not trying to take any credit for things that we should just be doing anyway. But I think, even something like this, I certainly felt compelled as a parent to continue to spread Joe's word and Joe's message to, especially to people who, if they hadn't been directly affected by something like this, would not open their hearts and their minds to really understanding what people are going through. I just try to use it for good. I've been blessed with so many talents and gifts. I want to spread that love and help other people and encourage people and do positive things with what I'm doing.
For sure. And I respect that, man. Obviously, this is not just an anti-bullying movie. It's a movie about learning lessons and about learning from your past mistakes. And I'm sort of curious, after your experience making this movie, if you could give a piece of advice to teenage Mark Wahlberg, what do you wish you could have told him?
Problem is he wouldn't listen. He thought he had it all figured out, and so I just, I continue to just try to grow and learn and be a better person and be a better example to my kids and to people that I encounter and anybody who might be growing up in a similar situation where if they can see that what I was able to accomplish in turning my life around and giving back, that hopefully they can do the same and don't feel that they are, unable to, rise from the situation, the conditions that they're in.
At what point did you realize that you don't have it figured out and kind of turned that corner and go like, oh shit, I don't know what's going on?
Different times and different phases in my life. Childbirth, having my first child and being like, oh my God, now I have this overwhelming responsibility. And then having a teenager. Now I have 2 teenagers, about to have 3. But again, the most important thing is to listen, to hear them, and to encourage them to be who they are and be positive, loving people.
Speaking of your kids, I've always been fascinated with the power that a role can have and if it actually can affect the life of an actor moving forward. I'm sort of curious, how has this movie changed maybe how you are communicating with your own children now?
Yeah, you're just having to look, you always want to do whatever you can to protect them. But, you also have to encourage them, most importantly, to speak up and to be vocal about how they feel, what their experiences are, and just making sure that they're heard. That's the most important thing. Like, growing up in LA, I want to be super protective of my kids. I think the more you try to shelter them and protect them, the more they kind of are curious and go out and, do other things that I certainly don't want them to be doing. But, yeah, it's a big job.
Yeah, for sure. And as we wrap up, I got to give a shout out to Reed Miller, who's just absolutely astounding in this. And, I oftentimes when there's a young actor with a more established actor, we always ask the young actor, what did you learn from working with the more established guy? But this movie is all about how Joe learned so much from his son. What did you learn from Reed Miller working with him?
That's a good question. I felt such a connection to him. I felt like he reminded me in so many different ways about both of my boys.
Mm-hmm.
And 15 to 20 wonderful actors came in my house and we all read and they were all great. But I felt that connection with him. And he made me to be more, it was funny because I had to be hard on him, and I was always hard on him, and I was really encouraging and being a producer as well, with the choices that he was making in his performance and stuff. But listening. He he's got great instincts and he's fantastic in the movie. But when we read together, I felt that emotional experience like I felt on the script. So we had that chemistry that you just can't create or fake, and it was really wonderful. It was really special. And, hopefully this will be the first of many great things that he gets to do.
I guarantee it will be, man. Seriously, they're giving me the rap, but you mentioned being hard on him in the best way possible, man. I always feel like you would be hard on me. You and I've been doing this for a long time, and you always made me want to step my game up and ask better questions, man. So thanks for sticking with me. I think 18. I was 18 when we first started doing this, but seriously, man, thanks for sticking with me for the ride. It's always a pleasure.
19 now.
Well, yeah, it's been a whole year. It's been a whole year. I hope this is the only time we do this via Zoom, man, because I can't wait to see you again in person to shake your hand.
Yeah, likewise, brother.
All right, man. Good to see you. Thanks, guys. Bye, Sarah. Reed, seriously, so good to see you, man. You are absolutely astonishing in this, man. So seriously, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with me. I really
thank you.
It.
Thank you so much.
Whenever a young actor works with sort of a more well-established actor, he's often asked what lessons he learned from the bigger movie star. But I'm sort of curious. With this movie, Joe learned a lot of important life lessons from his son. So I wanted to ask you, what lessons do you think you may have taught Mark Wahlberg?
Whoa, that's a good one. I feel like, I don't know. I feel like maybe we both learned how to, because I'm trying to figure out how to word this, because that's a good question. I feel like he really became my mentor. And I feel like he probably learned a lot about mentoring a younger actor and about himself as a father, because me and him talk a lot about how we very much have a father-son relationship. And he always felt like when me and him were doing a scene together or just talking, that he was talking to his son, that I felt like one of his sons. So I feel like he probably learned, at least I hope, a lot about, being a father, as I did learn about being a better son, I feel like, through this movie.
I love that. I want to talk about sort of the two different styles of scenes that you had to do as an actor, both the things that really happened and then the moments where you weren't actually there and Joe was imagining you. Different approaches for those two different styles of scenes, or did you come at it from the same place?
I honestly feel like when I say came at it from the same place, I don't think any scene was from the same place, but I feel like there certainly was that level of in the present. There was that level of better understanding of his father, of more of a mentoring. I'm trying to show you what you're missing. You need to get it. And I feel like before that, in the scenes with Jaden and Joe, there is that clear disconnect. So I feel like for me as an actor, it was finding the difference, where in those scenes, it's like Jaden necessarily maybe was afraid to stand up to his father. He didn't feel heard, so why say anything at all? Versus afterwards, when they're on this journey together, Jaden now feeling that confidence, now having all of this stuff happened, it's like, you need to understand why this is happening and why you're on this walk in the first place. Are you on this walk to prove a point, or are you on this walk for me? Are you on this walk to show people the dangers of bullying and the dangers of not understanding the people around you?
Yeah. That scene that you have in the parking lot where you basically tell him, dude, giving him a card and walking away is not going to do it. Like, that's such a great moment that you guys have. Speaking of Jaden, I'd imagine you did a ton of research coming into this, but was there one thing you learned about him in particular that really kind of gave you the information you needed to know who he was?
Yeah, I feel like for me, from hearing from everyone, that he was always open about who he was. He was never afraid, and he never hid who he was. That was really important, was knowing that Jaden at all times never put on a face. He was always him. He never hid anything about him. And I think that was really important and powerful, not just as an actor and in my performance, but just as a person, like learning a lot about myself through Jaden, and the fact that he was so strong in that situation and just being who he was is very inspiring to me. And that taught me a lot about him, and just how kind he was so important.
Yeah, dude, I got to tell you, man, seriously, this performance was absolutely astonishing. And I cannot wait to see what else you're going to be doing with your career. And I hope that I get to interview you for every step along the way, man.
Yes.
Thanks for being a great interview and amazing performance. So seriously, thank you so much for your time. I really do appreciate it.
Thank you.
Where we're going, we don't need roads.